All throughout the second half of the season, everyone was making the Lakers the number one storyline and not taking the number one seeded Nuggets seriously for whatever reason. It's time for the Mile High City's ball club to stop being the underlying theme. It's time to expose the shameful blasphemy from those somehow still spewing nonsense, and it's time for the Denver Nuggets to be the main character. Just 12.7% of you watching are subscribed, so please subscribe. Back to the content. Before shedding light on why the Nuggets are an easy team to root for, I have a lot of clips exposing talking heads for brutal takes about these Nuggets, but you are hearing from a Raptor fan in Toronto, however, who wasn't directly affected by the lack of attention the Nuggets received from the mainstream. I thought it was appropriate to show you this perspective you're about to hear from someone else who's actually a Nuggets fan in Denver to give you the full standpoint on why basketball fans in the Mile High have a bone to pick.
Everyone keeps asking the same question. Why are Nuggets fans so mad? We're mad because we caught them red-handed.
Lakers are going to get to the Western Conference Finals and lose to Denver.
For years, we theorized that the talking heads that shape NBA narratives don't even watch the Denver Nuggets. It honestly started as a joke, but as the team got better and the takes got worse, it became the only logical explanation. They just aren't watching. And we were right.
I have never seen him play before. I gotta admit, I have been sleeping on this guy.
The answer is absolutely yes. We are sleeping on the Nuggets and we should drop it.
No, we should chop it.
No, we're dropping it.
Okay, we're dropping it.
Okay, we're dropping it.
Game of an 8-game weekend. They were winning by a lot, and Succession was on.
Exactly, and Succession.
Don't say it.
We're mad because we were there to see Nikola Jokic go from Quesarito commercial to the best player in the world. And they weren't. We were there for Jamal Murray's ascension, his heart-wrenching injury, and his reascension to new heights. And they weren't. We were there to see Michael Porter Jr. go from a chucker with 3 back surgeries to a guy who damn near averaged a double-double in the Western Conference Finals. And they weren't. We were there as Aaron Gordon went from a number one option to an elite role player as he absorbed everything Nikola Jokic had to offer. And they weren't. We were there to see this team become who they are. And they weren't. And now they have the audacity to say shit like this.
Frankly, the Nuggets aren't very interesting. You're not going to see a lot of profiles on Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray, great player, not especially interesting. Michael Porter Jr., excellent player, not especially interesting. They're just not a compelling team to talk about, to write about, at least not as compelling as some of the other teams I mentioned.
We kept the receipts, so you're damn right we're pulling them out now. The coastally obsessed NBA media tried to make the Nuggets an extra in a story that they were the main character of. And now they're scrambling to blame that on the Nuggets themselves. This team has never been taken seriously, and even as their play now demands the highest degree of respect, they still aren't getting it.
Give the Denver Nuggets their flowers. Obviously, they deserve it.
Yeah, they made it to the NBA Finals for the first time, but it's hard not to make that the subplot.
I guess you can't lose the plot if you never had it in the first place.
So in that clip, you saw Chris Mannix double down by saying the Nuggets were uninteresting, but his worst take initially occurred right here.
Like, who are you picking against the Lakers? Right now, they're in number 8. Do they play Denver? Do you pick the Nuggets over the Lakers? I'm sorry, I wouldn't. Memphis, they're a mess right now. Sacramento, we talked about them. I think the Lakers, the biggest threat to the Lakers, in my opinion, are at the bottom half of the bracket. If the Warriors get Andrew Wiggins back and they start playing like the Warriors, the Clippers get Paul George back, those are the teams. Now, the Suns, we can get into them. I mean, if they get their chemistry right, those are the teams that would make me more anxious about the Lakers than Denver, Memphis, or Sacramento.
While Jokic would come off as humble to your ordinary listener, ESPN's Richard Jefferson felt otherwise.
Jokic is a little bit like, you know, that whole like thing is like the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled on the world is to convince the world that he didn't exist. The greatest trick that Jokic ever pulls on anybody is to think he's not out there talking shit like a dog.
The co-host for Patrick Beverley's podcast would give this disrespectful take on the Nuggets.
To be honest, I'm rooting for the Lakers.
Why, Ron?
I hate the Celtics. It would break my heart if Jimmy Butler won a championship after the Sixers got rid of them. And the Nuggets are boring. And it would piss people off if the Lakers won. It would have people furious that the Lakers won. It would make them so furious.
All those are very valid reasons.
Nick Wrong would go on a rant about how the media shouldn't value championships before immediately taking credibility away from Jokic for not having won a championship.
The entirety of our profession has turned in. You guys remember that movie? I think it was called Bad Teacher. Jason Segel was in it. and they're in the trailer for it. He's arguing with a little kid about who the great basketball player of all time is, and the little kid says to, because the little kid's arguing, I think, for LeBron, says to him, in regards to Michael Jordan, your only argument is 6 rings. And Jason Segel screams at him, it's the only argument I need. That's what all of sports commentary has become. All we give you credit for is championship. All we give you credit for is the destination. Nothing for the journey. It does not matter what you do in the regular. It does not matter what your full body of work is. You either win the title or you're considered some different level of disappointment or failure. We can, in the media, preach to the athletes that we cover who follow these shows and who are acutely aware of what is said about them, that the only thing that matters is championships.
A few minutes later,
every single guy with 3+ MVPs, by the time they got their third, was either a champion or multiple finals trips. But today's voters are going to tell us we got that wrong, that this is the way we need to do it.
Mr. Wrong would also shockingly agree with the racist narrative from Kendrick Perkins about Jokic winning MVP because of being white.
And now it'll get a little hairy. Kendrick Perkins brought up the race factor of this and did it kind of haphazardly and awkwardly, and everyone just killed him. But this is where there is an interesting comp. The one other guy that I can remember that we placed these type of regular season accolades at his feet without him ever going on this type of playoff run was Steve Nash. So it was odd and a little uncomfortable.
Craig with a carton full of bad takes, aka Craig Carton, would reiterate that Denver is boring so we don't have to talk about them.
It's too bad for him. He plays in Denver where nobody cares about basketball.
Carton would then double down with this after Denver completed the sweep of LA.
I've been thinking about this in Denver, which is not a basketball town. It is a football town, one, a hockey town, two. And if and when the Nuggets are good, then they pay attention. The notion of Denver being this, rah-rah basketball town is inaccurate.
Here was ESPN's Brian Windhorst on his top narrative after the Nuggets completed the dominant sweep of LA.
The Lakers absolutely were terrific in going down in this series. I'm not sure I've seen a more impressive performance in a sweep ever.
Mike Greenberg of ESPN's Get Up would try and justify why his network doesn't give Denver any attention.
So when people complain, oh, you guys focus too much on this, that, or the other, the Cowboys and LeBron and Steph Curry and all of that, there's a reason. It's because those players, those people, those teams generate the most interest. It's you. And by you, I mean you listening to me right now. Not each and every individual one of you, but the collective you are more interested in the Cowboys and the Lakers and the Yankees and Notre Dame football and a few other select teams than you are in all the other teams. You just are. Again, that may not apply to you, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Don't forget about Stephen A. Smith saying Joel Embiid's game translates better to the playoffs than Joker's.
I'm an Embiid guy because I think his abilities translate to the players. When I knew the Lakers was going to win in the bubble, it's because I said they got Anthony Davis. And as big time as Jokic is, the athleticism that Anthony Davis has over him is going to be problematic if Anthony Davis focuses on the defensive end. Ain't no answer for Embiid, other than health.
And last but not least, you saw Kendrick Perkins make his case for why Jokic won the MVP because he was white if you saw this video on your screen, but I didn't show you the yelling match Perkins had with Redick.
Stephen, I mean no offense to you, and I mean no offense to First Take, because I think this show is extremely valuable. It is an honor to be on this desk every day. It really is. But what we've just witnessed is the problem with this show, where we create narratives that do not exist in reality. The implication, what you are implying, that the white voters that vote on NBA are racist, that they favor white people. You just said that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That is exactly what you implied, Kendrick Perkins. That is exactly what you implied. Secondly, hold on.
I did not call. I stated the facts. And you're not about to sit up.
We all know what you implied the other day. We all know what you implied just now.
Hold on. I stated it's the facts. It's the facts. It's the facts.
The most disappointing part about all of those clowns you just heard is that the takes come at the expense of a great group of guys. Here was Jamal Murray on he and his father's shared dreams coming true in his pre-finals press conference.
I just think because we've envisioned it since the beginning, you know, like just me personally, me and him have envisioned it and dreamt about it and went through all these moments in our head and on the court. He's been saying, how often do you get this opportunity, to be in this position, living your dream basically, living it out. So just taking advantage of the opportunity and realizing what the opportunity is, I think is the biggest thing. So just having fun right now.
Here was what Coach Mike Malone had to say about his best player in Jokic.
He's never changed. I think we all see it in all walks of life. How does fame, fortune affect you? And for most people, it goes to their head and they become something different. Sometimes they forget where they've come from and who helped them get to where they've gotten to. And the one thing I really love about Nikola, just forget basketball to your point, just as a young man who is a proud father and a husband, as you mentioned, Paul, but through all the success, the MVPs, the max contracts, all that stuff, he's still the same guy. I marvel at that because I've been in the league and around this game a long time. That is a rarity in this business and for a celebrity, a superstar in general. So the fact that Nikola is still a humble, selfless person and he cares about home, he cares about family, he cares about his horses, like that, the guy is just who he is. And I couldn't have more respect for him as a man because of that.
Here were the humorous moments Jokic had from only one press conference, which took place on Saturday, despite Richard Jefferson implying he's nothing but a trash talker.
Question on him, how much has he changed since your rookie year?
If you give him the ball a little bit more.
Nikola is somebody who knows.
I think he deserved, but who am I? Mike, we're laughing. He always thought that I can be something more like Jamal.
How have you grown and what have you learned from being a dad? And have you noticed any of those skills translating to being a better basketball player?
Nah. That cannot help you. I never chased nuggets, but good that I caught them. Bubble. Hi. You asked me if it's possible to talk to Serbia.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying. It's working, so maybe the consistency is the key. To be honest, I didn't watch the game 5, so I don't know. I was walking with my daughter. I'm lying. I watched the first quarter. Ni igrao, ni pratio košarku, tako da se stvarno ne sjećam. What camera is supposed to look if I ask for that? Okay. Ne sjećam se, stvarno ne sjećam se.
Simon Standry, la Gazzetta dello Sport Italy.
Maybe you need to ask my friends and my family, but they're not going to ask for you, so I think you're... Then, so hopefully, there is no answer probably. That's it.
Thanks, you guys. Pleasure like always. Thank you.
These were NBA stars across the league on Jokic.
He's one of the all-time great centers to ever touch a basketball.
A league full of incredibly talented and skilled players. Jokic is a unicorn.
Everything starts and stops with Nikola Jokic. Incredible player, which is why he's two-time MVP.
He plays the game that way. He plays for his teammates and his teammates play for him.
It's crazy what he's able to do on a basketball floor. It's a monster.
That's the genius of Nikola Jokic.
That was a ridiculous delivery from Jokic.
I know how great he is. I know how great Joker is. He sees plays before they happen. And even when you guard him, one of the best possessions that you think you've guarded him, he puts the ball behind his head, Larry Bird style, and shoots it 50 feet in the air, and it goes in.
Falling away, puts it up. Bang! Nikola Jokic!
So, you do like this to him.
Of course it goes in!
He's special.
Not only is he delivered, he's absolutely dominated.
And this guy is chasing history. He's certainly one of the greatest to ever play the game.
Moving down in the depth chart, And here was Christian Brown on the possibility of becoming the 5th player to win the NCAA tournament and the NBA Finals in back-to-back years.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is what, every player wants to do is, compete at the highest level. And, winning is obviously more fun for everybody. So just going from the situation in Kansas and, winning a lot and then winning my last year and then coming straight here and getting into a situation that, 1, is a good fit and then 2, we get to win right away couldn't have, imagined a better spot to be. And then, just the people around you, obviously I enjoy them and just this team, and so yeah, I'm blessed to have 2 years in a row playing at the highest level and winning at the highest level. And it's different in the NCAA tournament. It's one game. There's a lot of pressure on that one game, and here there's a lot of ups and downs. We've had series where we win 2 and we think we're up 2-0, it's a big lead, and then you go lose 2 on the road. So it's completely different, but the same, the same pressure, the same fun atmosphere, fun environment, and the fans at both levels have been great. So just blessed to have that opportunity to win at the highest level.
The mainstream media, however, has yet to shift the narrative in the Mile High City's favor, despite the team, first of all, having a beautiful offensive system that needs to be looked at in a film room, but more importantly, being a likable group of guys. But as the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility, and this repositioning of Denver from a somehow underdog number 1 seed to our story's main character grants them with a different type of weight on their shoulders. How will they manage the pressure of their first trip to an NBA Finals matchup is something I'm looking forward to seeing. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This was D-Flow, and I'll see you next time.